course be on Wednesday. So we're going to just stream the practice session, which is a 30-minute session for us today. That's all I'll be streaming. My name's Adam. I'm joined by Ethan, also known as DidSX. How you doing, Ethan?
Hello, thank you very much for that introduction. I'm doing fine, how are you?
Yeah, not too bad. So, interesting race got on Wednesday, 100% race. So, do you see maybe mental tiredness getting involved with the driving that day?
Maybe it's late in the night. You know, you got to be concentrating quite a lot, and it can affect on tiredness sometimes.
So, your experience driving around Spa on the game, what lap times are you looking for maybe the pole sitters?
You got to be looking for maybe 1 minute 40, 1 minute 44s or 1 minute 45s. That sort of area you got to be looking for to get poles. But like late 45s, I would have thought like mid-tier drivers. I would have thought. That's what I've been seeing from practice times in this game from time trial, what people have been putting in, and just average results. I've had to speak to a few drivers, and they've been saying that they've been getting around that area.
Yeah, a couple of the faster guys have been maybe aiming for a 143. I'd assume probably a high 143 because it's quite a tough track to get right.
It is. It's a very long track, and if you get one corner wrong, then it's your whole lap just ruined. It's quite a lot. So really, you just got to get every single corner right.
Exactly that. So not a full grid, but practice is optional. So we've got a few drivers, and what's different for normal races, on league races we have our confirmed league drivers, but because it's a one-off race, 100% around Spa on Wednesday, we've got a couple of drivers from different leagues joining as well. So it kind of helps that maybe we can test our drivers against another league's drivers as well. Gives a good insight to see where we're at.
Yes. So we can show other people what Speed Force Racing can do.
Exactly that. I think we've got quite a few good drivers as well.
Yes, we have got a lot of good drivers actually.
Yeah, quite a few that will stick out, I think. But we only do 50% race distance, and I've got a funny feeling that double that full 100% race, it's going to be quite challenging for everyone.
And it's different strategies. As because from a 50% race to a 100% race, it's different strategies for what everybody else thinks. So it's really going to be interesting at the pit stop phases what people would go for. Maybe a longer stint, maybe a shorter stint. Just depends.
Do you see someone being brave enough to try a one-stop strategy in the race?
It will be very, very brave. Very. I don't think I'll see anybody, but it could be. It is possible, I think. But if you manage your tyres a lot, I think it is possible.
Okay, we're going to jump into spectate now, and that should trigger everyone to basically press go, hopefully.
It's going to be a very interesting race. Can't wait forward. Cannot wait for this.
I think the important thing for today is probably just to see where we're at with the drivers, see what their pace is like. With practice, the tyres are more representative of the 100% race distance, so we should get a good idea of what to expect for maybe even quali and also race times.
I think it's going to be a big difference because within qualifying you need to get the fastest lap, but in race you need to get consistent lap times to able to challenge for the lead. You might do one great lap, but then the next lap you could have worn tyres, and you can lose a lot of time. That's the thing with these days, with these cars. You can lose a lot of time just because of tyre wear.
Yeah, exactly that. And I suppose pole position's not always the best because you've got in the race you've got the run up. You go up Eau Rouge, and you're going to get a lot of cars trying to slipstream, get a bit of an advantage. So pole position necessarily is quite hard to try and keep that first place going probably up to the first half of the first lap.
Yes, so as you said, Going to turn one, you know, you can easily defend the inside line if you get a good start off the grid position. Going up Eau Rouge, I don't think many drivers will be pushing on the first lap going up Eau Rouge. I don't think so, because it's a very, very risky move. You can lose your front wing easily going up there. And then you've got the Kemmel Straight. If you do not get a good exit out of Eau Rouge, then you're going to be passed easily by drivers behind you who's got a better start.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. So we're going to have one of our drivers, Jack. He will just tell us the weather for the practice session. Looks baking hot, but with Spa you can have rain at one corner and a baking hot track on the other.
Exactly.
We're currently dry. So we're going to be dry. We'll have a little bit of rain in the race, but that's only for that's only obviously going to be off stream.
I think the important thing as well, I know a few drivers that can race in a league race. It's only 50% and then give up if they're having a little incident early on in the race. But with a 100% race, you don't know if a safety car is going to come out and bring you back in. So I urge all drivers that will be racing Wednesday to stick it out and see what happens. No point quitting, and also no point going for that crazy move in turn one.
Yes, you can use your front wing quite easily. It's very, very easy to do that. I've done it many, many times going to first corner in career modes, or even so yeah, I think it's quite easily, especially when you're going into the race where everyone's compacted, everyone's got the same start as you, and it's really, really hard. I think you can lose your front wing, but as you said, safety cars, they can change the race completely. They will bunch the whole pack up together. It'll be absolutely crazy if there is actually a safety car, and maybe you can see a Lewis Hamilton just literally go from the back maybe onto a podium.
Well, that's it exactly. There's plenty of chances to try and make your race work for you. We're on board with Garfield, who's on his outlaps on the soft tyres. So we've got the, if I'm thinking right, it's the super soft, softs and mediums for this race.
See, is it the softs, super softs and ultra softs?
Ultra softs, super softs and softs. Cheers, Jack. So yeah, so we've got many drivers going out on the hardest compound of softs. On board with Garfield at the moment, and he's on his outlap. A little bird whispered to me earlier that he is a quick driver. He races for another league, so we're quite grateful that he's chose to join the 100% race, see what he's got. So if we go on board with him, and Ethan, would you like to take us through the next few corners?
Yeah, sure. He's running down the start-finish straight here. He's going to the first turn. It's a very, very heavy braking zone. Always crucial to get this right. If you don't, you've messed your whole lap up. You got to be careful with that traction control. Going up Eau Rouge, one of the scariest experiences probably of your motorsport career. You've got, in real life, drivers have to aim for one tree specifically, and that's how they get up Eau Rouge. Now they're going down the Kemmel Straight, another heavy braking zone. Going down into the right-left chicane. Gotta be careful of the next right. Get down your foot early. Possibly, a car behind could have a chance going down the inside. Turn 11 here. It's a really hard overtaking spot. But now is the fastest corner of the F1 calendar. Can't pronounce the name, but I can't pronounce the name. Puyol, thank you very much. Really the fastest corner on the circuit. He's doing an excellent job right here. He's not losing at any corners. He's braking in the right places. He's now just past turn 16. This is a very crucial place to make sure you keep your foot down, because you can easily be slipstreamed and be overtaken. And now going down into the bus stop chicane. One of the hardest chicanes to get it right, really. I mean, you've got a really, really bad braking zone, and you've got elevation change, which can affect traction. And he puts a 1:47.9. Interesting with the soft tyres.
Right, so we don't know what fuel load he is running, which is the great idea of practice. You don't know anything about that. But 147 on the hardest compound is quite a competitive time, I reckon.
It is. You just see Lee Neal actually setting a slower lap by 2.2 seconds. So, quite interesting. Then Garfield. Oh no, sorry, Fletcher Boy. Setting a 1 minute 47.2. So, this could be very, very interesting as we go into qualifying and the race for Wednesday.
Yeah, so give a quick rundown at the moment. All the times so far on the hardest compound, the soft tyres. So Fletcher Boy over 147.2, Garfield 147.9, Chopper 149.3, Lord JB 149.4, Lee Nail 150 and Smelly Badger 151 as Ramavaj with on the super soft tyres the medium compounds are 146.7.
But I would say it's close in the top four. Obviously room for improvement in maybe some corners. But I think the drivers are doing okay for now. I think they're doing very, very well, getting used to the tyres, what pace they have. I think it's going well.
So in practice, what's your usual approach to the practice session? Do you go for multiple runs on each compound, or do you just stick to a certain compound that you're going to be using mainly in the race?
I like to just try to see what times I can get out the hardest compound, really, just to see if I can compete with the AI, let's say in career mode. And then mainly like 10 minutes before the end, I like to go on the fastest tyre and see what laps I can do for qualifying.
So we've got 9 drivers making putting a time lap at the moment. We've got 23 minutes of the session remaining. There will be quali and a race in this session for the drivers, but that will be private, not to give away any times, as we've got about 6 drivers or 7 drivers that are not available tonight to take part in practice, but you'll see them on Wednesday. Wednesday is confirmed for a full grid, so it should be a good race. 100% full qualifying with simulation damage. So simulation damage is new for our racers this season. I'm not sure about the other leagues, but hopefully it should maybe make them think a little bit about the dive bombs, maybe the risky manoeuvres as well with simulation damage on.
Yes, you got to think they've got to be more cautious going into corners, make sure they don't nick off their front wing when they're trying to go down the inside of a driver. So just a little bit more cautious for the drivers.
So I would pick. Ramavaj used to race for Speed Force Racing, but was just ridiculously quick. He is taking part Wednesday, which will be an interesting challenge. But we've got drivers like Coming to Get You, Alain Montine, drivers like that have not that are not available tonight to participate in practice. So I think Ramavaj may have a bit of competition come race day.
Yes, true. I think it'll be very, very good. I think Ramavaj is going to have a little bit of a fight with other drivers, but I think it's going to be an absolutely brilliant race around the Vauxhall Grand Prix.
We're on board currently on the outlap of the Renault driver Decadent. He's been in the league for 2 races. One his first race, had a tough time out at the Hungaroring last week. Hopefully he should have a better, if he can get his quali right on Wednesday, he should have a better race than he did last week.
I think he should. He was a bit unlucky last time out. He did very, very well, I thought. He's a really promising driver, to say. So we'll just have to see what he's got in the locker.
So your experience of Speed Force Racing so far this season, what is it?
Well, I joined around the Spain time, and I think I've enjoyed myself. The whole thing's about having fun, and with Speed Force Racing, I think I've improved driving wise. You know, me just practicing a little bit more. So I think it's really pushed me into much more racing.
Do you see practice sessions as a great help towards preparing for a league race, or is it just a bit time consuming for something that maybe is not so useful?
Practice sessions are definitely useful to see what other drivers are doing, what lap times they're doing. It's always very useful, I find. I think other people find that as well. And I don't think they're wasting time, actually. I really think that they're very, very useful. And I don't think they're wasting anybody's time.
So we're going to wait for Decadence Sector 1 time. It should be coming up quite soon. It is a quite slow time, 31.5. To me that's quite slow, because you should be aiming for around 28, 29 seconds if I'm correct.
Yeah, I think the late 29s. And super soft tyres as well, I think. Maybe just a heat up lap. Maybe just trying to put put a lap time on the board and then try and improve on that lap.
Yeah, that's quite interesting. People do that. I've known it in league racing before, where a driver will just go out on a out lap, come back in just to get the tyres, just scrub them a little bit, just ready for their fast lap time in quali. So we've got one driver already retiring. I think he's had enough of practice. He's for Snape's sake, a difficult name to pronounce. So we're going to go on board with Fletcher Boy. He's looks like on a very slow lap at the moment. Nope, that's just the computer telling me that. So 30.940 Sector 1 time on the super soft tyres for Fletcher Boy. Unsure if these are used tyres. I'm assuming they are, because he should be slightly faster at the moment than he is now.
I think they are used. We should have to see about that.
It's surprising that a lot of drivers are not going on to probably the preferred race tyre, maybe the super softs, as we see quite a few switching to it now. But 18 minutes left in the session. I'd expected someone to do maybe a little bit of a race stint on the super soft tyres.
Yeah, you got to see the pace of the tyres, because they're mostly the race tyre. Ultra soft tyres only wear out after a few laps. You just got to see what the pace are with other harder types of tyres.
Going to go on board with the Force India of Ramavaj. He's on the softest compounds, the ultra soft tyres on his outlap at the moment. So coming to the race Wednesday, cars, we're not setting cars out for a specific car for a specific driver, because it's just a one-off race. So we're going to just first come first service basis. So whoever gets in the lobby quickest gets to choose the car they want. Fletcher Boy doing a lap of 1 minute 46.644 on the super soft tyres.
That's a really good lap. Really good from Fletcher Boy, beating Ramavaj's ultra soft tyre lap, so it'll be interesting to see.
Right, Ramavaj is on his outlap. He's going to have to try and make some space at the moment. He's got a Renault in front of him. I'm assuming that's Decadent. So he's going to have to try and increase the gap between the drivers, because it will affect him on his fast lap as he looks set to start that in a few corners time.
Yes, I think Ramavaj can run a good lap. As you see, Decadent, I think he's just wants to finish off his next lap. Let's see what he puts in. And the super soft tyres, they are worn, and it does not improve.
149.5. We'll go back on to Ramavaj. So he's starting his time lap on the ultra soft tyres. He's got plenty of track in front of him. Not a single car in his way. So Arouge, best way to take this, is it go for it, fully commit to it, or maybe back off a little bit with the speed going into entry?
With these Formula 1 cars these days, you just got to fully commit, like throttle all the way through. I find it's just completely just commit to it and see what happens in the end. I mean, if you touch the curb and the wheel and the back spins out, then that's what happens. It's sort of the game.
Fletcher Boy going faster again, 146.520. So would you set your car up for like high aero to deal with the middle sector, or would you go a little bit lower for the first and possibly third sector?
I would normally go for for possibly for qualifying time, I would go for a more lower setup. I would go for mainly for race. I'll go higher just to make sure I manage everything correctly.
Okay, so we're coming up to the end of the lap for Ramovaj, so should be a good time. It should easily beat Fletcher Boys, since he's on the softest compound. He has a lock-up going into the bus stop chicane, comes out the slowest part of the chicane, which is hard to get right, has a little slide on exit, the exit of the track, 145.719, nearly a whole second quicker than Fletcher Boy.
Jesus, that was a really good lap. Pretty good. It was 8/10 quicker than Fletcher Boy.
As we await Fletcher Boy to go on the ultra soft tyres, I really do think he may be within a couple of attempts of Ramovaj. But Lee Nell, still 4th position, still on the soft tyres, which is not bad from him to be 4th place at the moment.
Yeah, I mean he's beating a lot of people that do actually challenge him, and I think he's doing very well on the soft tyres. I think if he waxed on a pair of ultra softs, he could be actually fighting match time, probably by a few tenths. Not too bad.
So we've got Garfield in the Haas at the moment. Might not be his race car come Wednesday, as it's random. He's on the super soft tyres at the moment. Probably going to go for another fast lap. He's going to probably try and set a marker down to the rest of the field to maybe show his cards a tiny bit to the other drivers ready for Wednesday, because he has to. I've heard he's quick. A load of people have heard he's quick. So hopefully he shows that to the rest of the field.
I hope he does. I hope he does. But what we're really hoping for is that Speedful Racing can show what he can do, what our league can do, and show to him that our league is not messing about. We are a competitive league.
Yeah, that's it exactly. We're in our first season. We're trying to attract some great drivers, and we've got a whole field of them, to be quite fair. And hopefully we can build on for maybe a bit more exposure with some other drivers from other leagues involved with this 100% race on Wednesday.
Yes, I think it'll be very nice to get some very fast drivers, mainly like Ramovaj, putting lap times that are nearly as quick as real life drivers' times. So it'll be really, really nice, I think.
So, bus stop chicane, do you find that corner more challenging on entry or exit?
I find it on entry actually. It's a very heavy braking zone. You got to pick it right, or you just mess it up. And then it's mainly entry and exit. I mean, you've got the elevation change within the corner, so the traction control is quite more harder to manage going through that corner. So
there we go. We've got Garfield showing his hand now. He's setting the marker down to the rest of the field. 0.6 of a second off Ramovaj time on the slower compound as well. Brilliant lap there.
Yeah, that is an absolutely fabulous lap from Garfield. I mean, let's just see what he's got with the ultra soft tyres. That'll be very, very interesting.
He's just under I'd say just under 0.2 of a second quicker than Fletcher Boy, with Fletcher Boy being on the ultra soft tyre. So Fletcher Boy may have his work cut out if he thought it was just going to be a simple stroll for the top 2 positions in practice.
It's going to be very, very close, I hope. I think, top 4 or even top 5, do I dare say, could possibly fight for a pole position and possibly a race win on Wednesday.
So we've got quite a few drivers on the ultra softs at the moment, a few in the pit. Lord JB putting in a good time of a 147.066 for 5th place at the moment. Blue Star did race with us, but he couldn't commit to the weekly racing, but he's joining us for the 100%, a good racer. He's set lap time 147.448 on the ultra softs as well. As we've got Fletcher Boy, he's out on his outlap on the ultra softs, trying to respond to Garfield. It should be interesting. He needs to beat Garfield by at least 3-4 attempts to make Garfield switch on to the ultra softs to see what he can do.
I mean, yes, you want to see in practice session, you want to see drivers going as fast as they possibly can on the fastest tyres. So it'll be interesting to see what possible lap times we can get from qualifying. Most people are on ultra soft tyres. Some of them are on super softs.
We expect the times to be quicker in quali because you get engine mode 4, which is a lot quicker than what they can have in practice, which is rich mode 3, I think, is just available in practice.
Yes, it's a qualifying mode for the cars. Everything just gets turned up, so could we even be seeing a 1 minute, maybe a 1 minute 44? That would be very interesting.
That would be really interesting. Come qualifying on Wednesday, it should be really good. Fletcher Boy on a new set of Ultra Softs, going on the approach to Eau Rouge at the moment. Hopefully he can try and compete with Garfield, though Garfield is set his fastest lap on the super soft tyres. So his sector 1 time for Fletcher Boy is a 30.940. It's about there for the practice times, I think. In quali it will be quicker.
Yes, it will be. And
oh, he's had a little incident there. He touched the grass on the right hand side, on the left hand side of the track. Then went on the right hand side of the track, but kept it well handled. I'd say that kept it together, no damage. So he'll abandon that lap, maybe pit and get a fresh set of rubber on.
He's lucky. I will have to say that.
CBO Land 99. So yeah, he's in there, in or about the top times in practice at the moment. He's on his out lap. He's on the ultra soft tyres, so hopefully he can put a decent display and maybe get further up the leaderboard. But I think Ramovaj's time of 1:45.7 is a very hard time to beat in this session.
Yes, I think Top 3 have done a great job today in practice, getting all their useful data for Wednesday's race and even today's race, which we'll be doing privately.
I wonder if we will get to see Garfield with his ultra soft tyres. A lot of drivers may refuse to do that. A lot of drivers could be sandbagging as well. It's only practice and they know it's going to be streamed live, so they may want to keep some performance back.
Maybe it's going to be interesting. Oh, Decadent nearly went off.
It's a shock for Decadent to be 11th at the moment. Fast driver,
yeah,
but I don't know what's happened.
Especially on the super stars, I would have thought he hasn't improved. It's quite surprising. I thought he would possibly be trying to fight maybe Lord JB, Loomstar.
Yeah, you'd expect him to be around that position. From 2nd to 5th, they're covered by a second. Ramovaj obviously second quicker than a lot of them. I don't think Garfield looks like he's going to come out of the pits. Hopefully he does, because it would be good to see what he can do on the ultra soft tyres. So we've got CBO Land going through sector 2 at the moment. He's gone a little bit wide there coming out the exit of the corner, nearly hitting the tyres. Hopefully it doesn't slow him down too much.
In Decadent's lap. He's a very clean driver. Don't think he's taking the Huon, I think it is.
Yeah.
Yep, there we go. Finally said it. I don't think he's taking Huon too fast. I don't think he's not committing to the actual corner. So that might actually be losing his time, because as you know, it's a little straight, and then you've got the turn 13 and 14, the chicane. The white left-hander. So I think he's losing a time in a lot of places where I think you have to do his homework.
Oh, a bit of a slide there from CBO Land as he comes out of the bus stop chicane. Can then do a 1:47.217. We're awaiting Garfield and Fletcher Boys' entrance onto the track. They're both in the pits, both on the ultra soft tyres. This is going to be interesting. He's come out the pit as well. He's on his out lap. So,
Oh, this is gonna be interesting.
shall we stick with Garfield? I'll let when he
Yeah.
starts
stick
his
with Garfield.
fast lap, I'll hand over to you, and you can lead us through, which hopefully
Oh,
could be
thank
the
you.
quickest lap of the race, of the practice.
Oh.
Sorry.
It is gonna be interesting. Let's hope that nobody gets in his way. That'll be. If somebody gets in his way, then that'll be it. I don't think you'll be able to get another lap out of those ultra soft tyres. As you know, they wear away quite quickly when you're doing a qualifying lap. So we'll just have to see.
It'd be quite
Yes.
interesting with the Hypersoft tyres next season, because the Ultra Softs, yeah, they're great, but they don't last that long in quali. With the Hypersofts, you're probably going to get one lap, and that's it from.
That's it. I don't think there'll be many tracks except probably Monaco that will be hosting them tyres.
So we're waiting for Fletcher Boy to come out. Maybe he's waiting just a couple more minutes to see what Garfield's time will be, but Fletcher Boy needs to get out in the next maybe minute and a half, 2 minutes to get round the track and have a good shot at maybe getting the fastest lap of the practice session.
Yeah, it'd be very interesting this last lap. I don't think he'll set another lap on these tyres, the 2v1, and then I don't think they'll be able to set a decent lap. But here we go. Garfield starting. Barnett goes very wide for that corner, which is good because he gets the traction on early. And he starts his lap right now. Breaking down into the first corner. Breaking at 75-meter point. And then straight into this part of the track. Actually, turn 2. There's actual turn 2. Going up Eau Rouge here. Always got to be committed to the corner. Got to be careful of those. Careful of the elevation change where, if you can't speak today. Going down into the Les Combs. Turn 7, 8, and now 9. Very fast through them. Very committed. Down the hill, this is where the elevation change is. Always elevation change catches out drivers with traction control off. And he's done very, very well through there. Always got the back end. Fast left-hander, the fastest corner on the Formula 1 calendar. And going down to the canvas corner. Very tricky one to get right. Always got to try and get the most potential out of that corner. Absolutely floor it through there. Through turn 60. Now he's going to go through Blanchimont, turn 17. Now all the way down to the bus stop chicane. Break at the 100-meter board. Turn in to the right and then turn into the left. On the gas early, DRS opened. And he puts
Oh, he's
in.
done it!
He's done it by a tenth. Oh, not even a tenth. Is that less than half a tenth?
That would be about 3/300ths of a second.
Yep. 300. That was a mental lap from Garfield. So, Rev March, he's got some competition.
Definitely.
Competition.
On board with Fletcher Boy at the moment. He's on his ultra soft run as well. He's going to have to up his game, I think, to match Garfield's pace.
Yes. Yes, and now he's on the super. Oh, he's losing it.
He's gone.
Oh.
He's caught it.
Caught it. He's lucky.
I think if he's got enough fuel in the car, if he just eases off now, tries to get to the line and then does another hot lap, but that's if he has the fuel. He could have been very light just for the one run.
You always want to be. You always want your car to be very light. The more top speed you can get, the more acceleration you can get. But I think you will be able to do another lap. But it depends on fuel. And as you know, it's quite a long track, so you could just mess it up at one corner, and that could be your whole lap done.
We'll stick on board with him just to see what his Sector 1 time is. If his Sector 1 time's competitive, it means he's going again. Looks like he's giving it full beans at the moment on the approach to Eau Rouge.
Yes, he's going up Eau Rouge now. Very fast, very committed. Not cutting the corner. He's done very well going up Eau Rouge. Just see what he can get going up this straight. Whoops. He's going 204 miles an hour and then just braking for the heavy braking zone.
He's only 200ths of a second slower than Garfield's Sector 1 time.
Jesus. That is quick. That is quick. It all depends on the second and third sector. If you don't get these two sectors right, it's over. That's all practice done. See what Lee can do.
Lee's been on a little bit of a bad run of late in the league. A couple of DNFs and not ideal for his championship challenge, but hopefully he can maybe get a few points across of how good of a driver he is, because he's a really good driver with a positive display not only in the practice session but the race Wednesday. He's 500ths of a second slower than Garfield. It's going to be very close. If he can get his entrance and exit right in the bus stop chicane, he should be okay to challenge or get within a couple of attempts of Garfield's time. Oh, he comes into the pit. I would have carried it. He would have done it. He would have done it.
He would have done it. Oh, that is not a wise decision. Oh my word.
So
he's gone into the pits.
That's quite shocking, and maybe he just didn't want to reveal what lap time he could get. Maybe not show his hand too much to Garfield, but that's a shocking decision there.
I think it was absolutely brilliant lap from him. He kept it tidy everywhere, and I think it was very good.
Alright, we'll do a quick rundown and then we're going to end the stream, because I'll let the guys have their quali time and race practice time to themselves. So we've got Garfield with an amazing time of 1:45.681 on the Ultrasofts, Ramavage at 1:45.719. Fletcher Boy was third, could have been higher up if he'd carried on. He got a 1:46.520, Lee Nell with a 1:46.761, CBO Land at 1:46.8. Lord JB at 1:47.0, Racing Podge at 1:47.07, quite close between Racing Podge and Lord JB. Chopper at 1:47.111, quite close there, a few drivers there. Bloom Star 9th, 1:47.3, Decadent 1:47.5, Smelly Badger at 1:48.9, for Snipe's sake at 1:51. Guys, it's Mudkip at 1:51 as well. So yeah, quite interesting little session there. We'll find out more on Wednesday. The stream will start earlier. The race is going to be an hour earlier than usual league racing, just because of the simple fact it's a 100% race with full qualifying. It's going to take a bit more time, and I want to keep guys up from other countries going into the early hours of Thursday morning. So we're going to leave it here. I'd like to thank Ethan for joining me for practice. He will also be joining me for the race. How did you find it?
I found it very entertaining, how just seeing drivers going out for breakfast, but thank you very much for having me on. I really do appreciate it, and I cannot wait till Wednesday. Nice one.
So yeah, like our Facebook page, www.facebook.com/Speedforce Racing PS4. We have a Classics League starting in January with the when we resume our normal league in the Modern Series. But join us Wednesday. Stream will start about 7:25 PM GMT. So look out on the page for the link, and we look forward to seeing you then. Good night.
Good night.